Righty, so I've got this kind of square in here. It's about as square as I can get from top to bottom. It's within, you know, like, what are we talking? A couple of millimetres, a few millimetres here and there. But you can see how much of a twist that bottom bracket's got in it. And, well, I'm assuming it's twisted. It's not sitting there very square. And we know it was way closer at this bottom edge than it was at that bottom edge, I think it was. And then this here is all freaking wonky. And we know that's bent there. It's also a bit kinked there. So, So I need to try and get this straightened out the best I can and keep test fitting it in here. I'm also trying to get it in here as square as possible. I possibly may even need to go like diagonal down to here and diagonal down to there, and just to make sure I'm keeping it square, or getting it squarer. Yeah, because it's queer. It's just like, to me it shouldn't sit back, like sit nice and flush here over top of that on that edge, and then like it's back, a long way there. Like it's not half an inch, but it's heading towards that. So yeah, I'll do a couple more quick measurements, and I might just write some stuff down and on here so I don't forget when I come back to remeasure. Alrighty guys, so I'm not sure if I've explained this or not. When I'll go back through the footage you'll see. But I got a bit of a problem. I can see it coming a mile away. So I've got that grill shell sitting in there, and it's square, and I mean it's even the same measurement from here and the bottom to the edge of the cowl is the same. Both sides, I can get that. But from that bracket tag, from the edge of that to here, and from here to here, it's about half an inch different. Alright? Keep following me. I'll measure from here down to the edge of the chassis rail, and from here to here. It's almost exactly the same. Like it's within, a couple of freaking hairs different, but it's really, really close. But if I measure from here to this line, we're half an inch different from here to here. So it's closer this way, half an inch, than it is this way. And the same if I measure from here to the edge of this, and from here to the edge of that, we're half an inch different. So this has got a dirty great twist in it, obviously, because it's, we'll come back to here, because it's this is all bent, and you obviously, you've seen before that this isn't square. So when I straighten that, because the owner gave them that, and I didn't see it first, and he gave it to the guy when he was rebuilding the radiator, I bet you that this won't fit that when I straighten it now. Righty, so this is the side that it lands closest to the guard, wherever that measurement is. And yeah, this here is higher on this side than that side. So that's when the twist comes in. That's part of it. And part of it is, when I sit this on here, I'm assuming this table's pretty flat. So you can see this is quite a twist, so obviously this isn't helping anything. But I think if we can get the steel brace squared up. So what I want to do is I'm going to use these bolt holes as reference. holding that on there. Can you see that? I think you can. Yeah, you can. So holding that on that centre point, and then just lining up roughly with that hole. I'm at 740 millimetres here. If I go this way, I am, where are we? That's 750 to the bottom of the bottom of here. Just double check that, make sure I am. Yes, and it's 740 to the bottom, so I'm 10 mil higher here. So I've got to get probably a little bit of both. I think if I take it, if I can get this to come down and that to go up, I think that'll be the way to do it. Just trying to think how to do it now. I need some way of holding that, and I'll see heating here. It would be nice. This is not riveted, so I can't change that. Hopefully if I can do that and take the twist out of it, and I'll see, and then I can try and straighten this, and hopefully it still fits that shell. And we'll get it to sit square. So yeah, might be right if I clamp that in the centre of the vise, and if I heat it here and here, and then obviously pull it that way across with the top and try and get this to, you know what I mean? Probably get this to come down and that to push up, or something. We'll try that. I think that's about how I have to do it. Stuart? Right, off there. Set up. Thanks Arco and Heidi for the cups, couple road cups, and sent me a jacket with Minnesota Outlaw Kustoms and everything on it. Awesome. I just got these at lunchtime. You'll see that on like another little video when I put it up. But yeah, I made a coffee at lunchtime and I had to take the friggin' top off it because I couldn't get the heat out of it. But I've drunk it now. That's awesome. Put a bit of that light. Sits in the vehicle, tweaking that one corner. Maybe. Sure. Maybe. Might have to screw it up that way too, but always sit in the vehicle and just see how we fit. Righty, so I've had it back in there and I've had a really good measure up. I've improved it quite a bit. It seems to be sitting fairly square across that steel plate where it was kicked. It was kicked back before, but the whole radiator still needs to come this here, with the measurements between that and the guards. 297. So we've still about 7mm difference between the two, so it's going to come across this way a bit. So I'm going to bend here and just bend this and try and push it across. I still need to try and straighten all this out. Around here, I haven't touched this yet. So, but I need to get, this here needs to be level, it's got a kink in it. I don't know whether this piece here is actually bent out too much, or whether this is just going to be sort of flattened out and this is going to be straightened up and then it's going to sort of come across. That's actually going to flatten down and spread out just through this piece. I'm not sure on that, but we'll work that out later. I just want to get the thing so these brackets and points, and I can still get this square and all those sorts of things. I can get it even, and when I mean even, like if it's 1 or 2 mil, especially on the diagonal back to the firewall from these brackets, I'm still about 20 mil different corner to corner back to the firewall. So yeah, and yeah, like I'd say like 7 mil difference that way. So if we can get that come back across, that should even those points out. Hopefully, we'll get there. I can still get this measurement here the same, side to side, but it's obviously, yeah, it's just the way it's sitting. It's not, yeah. Anyway, I'll heat this up and I'll try and flex it over and see if we can make it look a bit better. It's not all, it doesn't, you know, it's almost pointed, sits stable, it's not rocking. That's cool. We'll have to test it back in the car again. We'll come back to you. Righty, happy camper, happy camper. I've measured it. I'll turn the phone around. Right, I'm chasing a mil here and there now. So I've measured it from here to here, and here to here, that's the same. I've measured it top and bottom, that's basically the same, both sides. Measurements from here to here is almost within a mil each side, trying to get things right. From this point to the like sort of most, like so obviously the longest part of the radius from here, it's within a mil, and it's the same from the tongue on the other side of the radio shell to this swage line here. It's within about a mil and a half. So I'm stoked. I've got it sitting pretty good, and if you have a look down the steel bracket, it's pretty bloody even there now. It's sitting pretty nice. It's not 100%, but it's you know, like it's not the stupid gap where it was touching here and it was way back here. Like I worked on, I have no clue what the measurement of the bonnet is. I don't know what that distance is, but I set my measurement at 790 from this edge to this edge, and that gave me, I kept it at that, and then I just kept I shifted it a little bit that way just to try and get that balance right, and the same in here, and just keep tweaking, and obviously with those couple of little tweaks down the bottom, it's sitting bloody near spot on. So all I've got to do now is obviously panel beat tomorrow the front of this, and hopefully it shouldn't change this, but I don't think it should change that because that steel bracket should hold the rest of it square. But I've just got to get this to look nice now, and spend a bit of time on that, getting it straight. I'll get it close, and then obviously when we prepping and all that sort of stuff will get it really nice. I might DA it tomorrow and get the worst of the rust and the shit off it. But yeah, just got to try and get that shape around the front nice and get all the little kinks out of here and all that sort of crap. But stoked, absolutely stoked. I thought that was going to be a mission, but all it took was a couple of, as you've seen, basically heated it and bent it there and heated it and bent it there, and obviously I just happened to fluke with the twist as well. And yeah, that's millimetre here and there, I can live with that. That's really close. Like when we bolt it down and get it right and go to bolt things on, and when I measure, I will probably tomorrow, depending on how this goes, I will fit the hood on here and then we'll get the true gap, but at least I know it's sitting in there square, and it's within a bee's dick here and there, like side to side and front to back and all those things. That's awesome. Another bloody win. So that's cool. I'm hoping when I sit that actual rad out of back in there now, I'm not fighting to get it in, and when I clamp it down and bolt it down, it twists it out of shape. But once I get this dressed up, I will refit it tomorrow, hopefully, if not over the next couple of days. So yeah, we're getting closer and closer and closer all the time. Obviously I've still got to drill holes in all these guards and bits and pieces where they've wound all that stuff up. Got to do some work on them, but now I know that this stuff fits with how it should. Well, we can go through them and finish all the other things, I suppose. But yeah, that's awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. Morning, guys. So back here again. It's Saturday, not Friday, unfortunately. The schools are it's a long weekend here, and they basically, my young fella's school took the Friday off as well for a teachers only day. Go figure, man, they just had frickin' 2 weeks off. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to get into getting this grill shell cleaned down. Like I just said, or like I just said when I did the last bit but it was too long. I was watching a video yesterday online, which was a Street Machine magazine in Australia. Got their own sort of channel called Carnage, and they were using a Rust-Oleum product called De-Ruster.
Some of that is just dust laid over it, and we've given it a bit of wipe over, but some of it is more ingrained and it needs something more. So I've got a few bottles of this stuff left over from Rust-Oleum. I thought I'd give it a try, and I have given it a try on the other side of the roof, and I'll show you that now. It actually works fairly impressively. Let's have a look. Okay, so that's the brown part of the roof, and that's the part where I've used the Rust-Oleum.
Basically, they painted it on the steel once they got it cleaned down, sort of like that front fender. Once they sort of got sort of to this level or a bit better, they painted this de-ruster on it. Basically, had to keep it wet for about 10 to 15, 20, 30 minutes. It's sort of recommended about 30 minutes, but within 10 minutes, they had this. Because what they'd done, they actually stripped this vehicle down and then hadn't had a chance to get back to etch it or prime it. And in Australia, there's quite a lot of humidity, so it flash rusted quite bad. Sort of not quite that bad, but getting back towards that. So they scotch bodied the whole car and then on a grinder, and then yeah, they basically painted this de-ruster on it, and it basically came up like a shiny new penny again. So might look at doing that for this vehicle and do the whole thing that way, probably except for some of the more solid pieces which I'll sandblast just in the cabinet and small stuff, but and then de-rust it. But yeah, I think that may be the way we do it. But anyway, I'll get the grill shell off, see if I can straighten out the bottom part of that, and then I'll hopefully fit it back on, maybe, and try and get the hood or the bonnet on and work out the gaps, and then I can mark out the holes in the chassis, or the place to put the holes in the chassis for the grill shell, since they've been repaired and welded up early on if you haven't seen the other videos. That's what I'm up to here at the moment anyway. So we'll see in a minute. I'll get this grill shelf. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wire brush all this. If you want one of these, I've had a coffee made in this since about 9 o'clock this morning. I don't know what either time is now, but it's at least an hour later, if not more. And this thing is still screaming hot. So you go, Minnesota Outlaw Kustoms, and go get one of these or one of the other cups. They're awesome. Or go to my Teespring and you better get my one. Hopefully one of these days shortly I'll better actually order some of my gear. And actually, while I'm at it and I think about it, thanks Wayne Reynolds to go in my Teespring store. He bought a couple of tops and I think a mug. I think it was a mug. And also thanks to Dave at Scott Rods and Bill at, I'll put the picture up there, for both going to my Buy Me Coffee page and buy me, I think Dave bought me a cup of coffee and I think Bill bought me 5, so it's totally awesome. Dave and Wayne were a wee while ago, but I was just waiting for a few extras. I was hoping for a few extras to come up, and so I can give them a quick thanks and whatever. If I get next time I get a few, 3 or 4 or whatever, I'll do another wee segment. But yeah, thanks very much for going to the Teespring and Buy My Coffee page, and just every little piece helps. I think with the few bits and pieces that Wayne bought, I made about $30, and it'll be about the same with the Buy Me Coffee. So that's $60 I didn't have before. So yeah, hopefully as my subscribers go up and bits and pieces, and everybody just buys me a little bit here and there, it only takes just a little piece like that every now and again just makes a huge difference, and especially as the numbers get up and I get a few more, like it just makes all the difference. And then hopefully soon be monetized, especially on this channel. The music channel I've sort of left alone for a bit because just what's happening, I've just got too many other things going on to be worrying about, but I'll obviously, because I've got to make money, I'm doing this anyway. But yeah, the music stuff, when I get a chance again, or if I get a free minute at some point, I'll make some more videos and I'll put that up. Right, try and get you lined up there somewhere. So, let's have a look at this. This needs repair here, I'm guessing. I'm not 100% sure, that's factory to me. I don't know. Like, he was asking me to repair that, but I just don't know if that's meant to be like that or not. I need to look at some of these other ones and just see. Because it's a little bit out of shape there, and it's kinked and bent and whatever. But I think what I might do is just start in this corner and see if I can get that to come this way so I can get these kinks out of these corners. This one here is real bad. This one here is not quite so bad, but I'll see if I can get in there somehow. And push that across. Right, so I've beaten this out quite a bit. Still a little kink in there. And I've taken the worst of this out. Like, it still needs more. That was the worst side too. That was the side that was quite badly cracked. I haven't done anything, well, I haven't really done a lot in here. I obviously need to beat this line out and lots of stuff in there. And once we sort of get that out, then I can probably dolly across here, because you can feel where it's sort of flattening. It's like pulled round. It needs to flatten out. It's the same here. But as I get this more right, I might have to start working this to get this to come round, you know what I mean? It's getting there, and then I can come back around and work this. So I might just have a wee look at these other ones, just see what all these other ones are like, because to me that looks like it's meant to be like that, but I don't know. That's not like that. This is a different model, obviously, but there's no little brace in there either. Unfortunately, that's the wrong year. Actually, he bought that one extra over top just recently, and then got it here and realised it was actually the wrong bloody year. So what are these ones like? I might have to pull one of these ones out and have a look as well. Yeah, no, it's not. This is a 27, but yeah, I'm assuming it's meant to be, that hole's meant to be round, isn't it? That cut in it. Yeah, no, they're all round as well. So yeah, I need to repair that other piece. Not sure why it's like that, but it is. But I can fix that too. We can add a little bit of metal in there. Shaper and hammer and dolly and whatever. And get that back to nice. So that needs repaired too. Cool. Alright, carry on. Righty, back to it again. Oh, phone calls and video calls. I'll do it with my earplug this time. Right there. Where was I? I get this frickin' grill straightened out. So I'm fairly happy with, before I sort of start doing it, I'm fairly happy with this side now. But this side here, I'll try and hold it here and show you. Can you see that? It sort of runs away now from back here on. It sort of drops down. There, you can see that there. So I'm guessing that this needs to be all kicked up and straightened and whatever. I assume that's how it's meant to be. That's how it's sort of straightened out here. It may be too high here, I'm not 100% sure, but it feels feels good now. Whether it's meant to be like that, I don't know, but when I fit it back on the car with all the other pieces, I'll soon see whether it looks wrong or not. But yeah, trying to get this sort of quite, it may need a little bit more work in here, but it's very awkward to get into. Like, I'd dearly love to chop all these rivets out and just pull this piece out of the road and have a real good, decent go at it. But I'm trying to do the best I can with what I've got. But it's going to need a hell of a lot of copper on top of it, because it's, as you can probably see, it's very, very, it's quite heavily pitted. But it's the only grill shell we've got that's the right one for this car, unfortunately. But yeah, it's going to need a lot of layers of copper just to sand back and bring it back so it's got a really nice clean surface, a smooth surface. It's going to look like dog's balls at the moment. But yeah, I'll get it straightened out some more. Righty guys, so got it sitting back in the hole again. That looks pretty nice across there, pretty even. May need a little tweak here and there, but I think it looks pretty good. And it still seems to be sitting in there pretty square, like even though I've hammered and done quite a lot of work around that bottom. It hasn't seemed to have altered anything, like it's, a mill here or there, it's just with putting it in there and just trying to get it rough close, without chasing, half a millimetre. It's sitting there pretty nice still. Look at, it's not bent and twisted like it was. It might need just a little bit of refinement. I think it's still a little bit low here or a little bit high here, one of the two. I keep playing with this piece, but I'm just like I'm not happy it's like it's low on this side and high on this side, or it needs to go one way or the other, or a bit of both. But it's close. It is really close. I'm reasonably happy with it around here. It's not dead perfect. I don't know yet. I may grind the heads off these rivets, knock them out, take the brace off and have another go. But because it does, I'm not 100% sure. The owner was here before and we were talking about it. I'm not sure, would this been chrome or would it have been nickel? 25? Might have been almost nickel, I'm not sure. Chrome come in about, I don't know, I'm trying to think, maybe mid-20s or 30s or something like that when they actually went to chrome, proper chrome. There's nothing wrong with nickel. Nickel looks beautiful too. But yeah, we'll have to put a crap load of copper on this and then probably wet sand the crap out of it and get it really, really, really smooth. And that will actually help with a little bit of the imperfections down the bottom if we can get copper coat it like a lot on especially the outside, and sand it back, wet sand it back, and then obviously just another copper coat and then nickel. It should look pretty juicy. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll double check the time. I think I wanted to spend 4 hours here today just to get this done. So this is pretty much fluffing around with that, welding that broken bit up in here. That needs a little bit more work, but it's pretty close. So yeah, I basically spent 4 hours straightening that. So you imagine if you had to take this if you actually had this in a professional shop that was charging, I don't know, even say $80 to $100 an hour plus, like some of those restoration guys that are doing a lot of restoration work and this sort of stuff would, there's probably $500 worth of panel beating in that just for 4 hours work, let alone all the rest of the detail in it. So you can imagine by the time that's being copper plated, a shitload, and then wet sanded back to get that really, really nice. And whatever that costs, you're probably, just in the labour alone, it's probably more than $1,000 just in that grill shell. My time, if you're paying really high dollar for it. But yeah, so yeah, I might take those pieces out Monday and have another play, but because we do have rivets here for the chassis, I think they're the same. I have to double check before I take them out. I might just persevere, but yeah, I won't take it out if I don't need to. But it would make it a damn sight easy just to really finish it off nice. But so far I'm really happy with that. It's come out pretty good. A little bit more work across the bottom there, and that door skin hammer that I made the other day has been really, really helpful. But it's like Arco says, you can never have enough hammers. I can see why he's got a you know, 10 of this, because every friggin' one of them, he would have a, you know, he would have almost one that's dead flat, and then all the rest of them would have a different dome on the end of it, and then he would have modified this so it was different, because every panel was different. Now sometimes you just need that little bit more radius. I was struggling with that because this is quite flat. Whereas, you know, it would be nice to have another one that you could shape, and, you know, another couple that you could put a couple of different radiuses on. So I can see why, you know, he's got 200 or 300 hammers because he's made a different hammer. He's got a different hammer used for everything, you know. Because when you're trying to get into shapes like this and you're trying to get stuff beaten out, you know, you want something with a really nice big radius, but without, you know, you don't want to have to modify one and then modify it back to, don't you? You'd modify it so you've got that one for that sort of shape and radius every time, you know. But yeah, like if you had a planishing hammer, you could probably planish that too a little bit, but don't have one of them. But yeah, very cool. Alrighty guys, we'll catch you later on, and we'll see you in the next video, I reckon. Cheers.